This is Jet with Pop Austin Media. Man, it's been a minute since I've done a This is Jet with Pop Austin Media. We've been going crazy, but this is South by Southwest Week 2023. I got T-Double, man.
Back up in it.
How's it going, my guy?
Going good, man. You know, enjoying the festivities of South by and the usual, staying busy.
Use the other half on.
Oh, yeah, the other ones. There you go.
Just staying busy, man. You know what I mean? Making sure people know I'm out here still doing things and keeping the brand tight.
Now, yeah, did you, oh, no, it wasn't the Grammys. It was the Oscar. Hold up.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Still coming high off the Grammys, too, I bet.
Man, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that's the battery and everybody's back. You know what I mean? Once you go there and you're surrounded by all those creatives, man, you don't have no other choice but to think to yourself, what's my next move?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do? What can I do to take myself to the next level, the next plateau from where I was before I went to where I can go now? You know what I mean? So Grammys is always live, man. And you know, and during South by we have a Grammy party here at Four Seasons, which is always that's like the premier party really, because everybody who's here for South by and affiliated with the Grammy goes to that.
Okay.
So you know, if you have major artists that are here performing and you really can't see them nowhere, they'll be at the private Grammy party. So you get the network anyway.
I gotta ask you. So like, I said at first about his, but here's a just quick history. So like from South by, when you saw the growth of it, and then South by now, like what's the big thing? Do you think that like industry stuff kind of?
And then they said South by originally was for like the
Local
rock.
rock
Is
bands.
that true?
Yeah. South by started like a hippie fest. That's how it really started, like in the 80s, right? Like college students from UT just throwing something. And then it eventually grew to where they started booking a lot of rock bands, a lot of singer-songwriters. And then eventually my boy Keir Worthy, he started working with South by Southwest. He was like one of the first black guys to like bring R&B to them and said, let's start doing some R&B. Let's start doing hip-hop.
How long was the string for like just all those like Be Real white bands? How long was the string of that until he did it?
I think Keir hopped in probably like, that might have been like late 80s, mid to 80s. Like South by was still fresh. Mm-hmm. So they were willing to try things. So Keir came in, did it for a few years. And then Andre Walker, who was like kind of like my mentor with South by, he came in and did it for some years, him and his wife Gloria. So that was the first real big R&B showcases that Gloria put together. His wife put together a lot of R&B showcases.
Shout out to her.
And so Andre Walker was doing like a lot of hip hop stuff. And you got to remember when at this particular time of hip hop, the hip hop panels and the hip hop gatherings was like in a small little ballroom in a hotel. Like you would walk in and there'd be those little round tables, like when you go to a little conference room with like, you know, Rap Pages magazines on it. And it was real small. Like it was
real. Be real. There was real disrespect.
Yeah, it was. It was. They would say all the hip hop is going to be in this one little room. This is where y'all meet. This is where y'all talk. This is where y'all whatever. And then Dre would work like Catfish Station or whatever venues around here to say, I want to throw a showcase there. I want to do something here. So almost everybody who worked at South by who was black doing hip hop, we basically had to use our own resources and connections.
I heard that.
To make things happen, right? Like South by was like, we'll give you a venue, we'll give you a little tag on your name, a little badge where you can say I'm with the South by that can help you finagle things. But a lot of times it was us spending our own money. It was us saying, you know, in some cases, I'll make a beat for you if you can come down, or I know so-and-so who knows so-and-so who knows so-and-so who can co-sign me. So, okay, now you can get so-and-so down. You know what I mean? So it was hard as hell, man. It was hard as hell to get the hip-hop stuff popping, but Dre did it for a few years. And then he picked me up one day and was like, let's go chill. And we chilling, and he took me to, God, what's that place? Like a restaurant, Boston something.
Boston Market?
It was like some kind of restaurant. I don't even remember the name of it.
Saying Boston.
Yeah, it was like some restaurant.
Something I got to go.
Yeah, but he took me to the restaurant, and we sitting there, and we just chilling. He's like, let's go riding, right? And he an OG, right? So I said, cool. So we ride, and we wind up at South by Southwest. He walks me into South by Southwest. He walks me up into the owner's office, and he says, this is the guy who's going to replace me. I'm retiring. So that's how I found out I got the South by Southwest job to be the hip-hop director.
Like so you found out right then and there?
I found that on the spot. I didn't even know where South by Southwest was.
What was your reaction like? You like, oh, I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
a little heads up would have been nice, my boy.
My thing was like, because I've been hanging around Dre, and Dre was a businessman. Dre was always like, keep poker face, no matter what's happening. If you don't know what's going on, just still be like, all right, bet, let's go. So he was like, T-Double, this is T-Double, this is Roland. That's how I met the owner, like that. T-Double, this is Roland. Roland, this is T-Double. He's going to replace me. Roland was like, all right, cool. Can you start Monday? I was like, bet, let's go. Let's do it. I didn't know nothing about the job. I didn't know what I had to do, nothing. But the first day I showed up with a lot of cats from the east side. We had cats in low riders. Like, I brought the hood the first day. Yeah. They didn't know what to do. We walked in and we was eating the donuts, and we were, we from the hood, right? Like, we don't got no etiquette. So we just in there going hard. And then I was like, okay, now I really got to work. Because then I saw that a lot of the hip-hop stuff was in disarray. Like, back then we had to really listen to cassette tapes to find bands, right? It wasn't like you can go to Sonic Bids or something.
No, yeah, you had to really.
So I would get a big
physicals.
box of cassette tapes. I have to listen to cassettes all night. I was doing that. Now they have volunteers who listen to the music, who can decide for it, and then the directors can sign off on it.
Have you seen that thing that's out here? You just remind me of something real quick.
What's that?
I've seen it a few years ago. There's a place in Austin that they'll put out their music on a cassette tape, kind of like for promo. Forgot the name of the place. It's a record store though.
Oh, I don't know.
And they actually do that. I've seen it. I forgot what it was. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, a little different, bringing it back, but just for promo. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna be able to listen to it.
Yeah. So it's like that's what I would do. I would sit around and listen to cassette tapes, and I'd be like, like I would listen to like Soul Fruit Project from Dallas, which had S1 who went on to produce Kanye, Jay-Z, all them.
He did Power, right?
Yeah. He did stuff on Watch the Throne. He did stuff for Madonna. He did stuff for Beyonce.
Oh yeah, I know S1.
And so I would get they cassette tapes. I would get Company Flow, which LP went on to be with Run the Jewels. So I was the first one to bring them to Texas. And he even thanked me on their Company Flow album. He was like, yo, thanks Tyranny, because nobody was really messing with him. But I heard the music. And, because back then you were really an A&R when you was going through the cassette tapes, right? So you was really a tastemaker, be like, okay, that's new, that's different. And I wanted to pick stuff that when people saw him on stage, they'd be like,
You're basically
Damn.
the dude that goes out there before the draft and goes, oh, this is this guy.
Looking
that's
a hell of a running back.
Or throughout the year,
Yeah, and I would just find dope-ass acts.
That's what an A&R is, people. Just to let you
artists
know.
and repertoire. So I would see these artists, and I'd be like, okay, check by their name. And then I would put together a cassette of all these bands that I thought should be selected for the South by Southwest. I would submit that, and they would all get picked. And then when Company Flow came, which was like my last year at South by, Company Flow came, and then South by was really putting hip-hop to the side again. Like, they would give me turntables with European plugs, so I couldn't even use them in America. They was giving me turntables with the wrong type of mixer from like the 80s. They was giving me, I couldn't even get a table to sit my turntables on, right? They was making it where the doors couldn't open till a certain time, but I had a line outside. And it was just real bad. So my last one, Company Flow was here, LP, who's with Run the Jewels now. They was literally running around with me to go around town and pick up turntables and pick up needles and pick up, because South by didn't supply none of that for me.
So you basically Frankensteining a turntable.
I put a whole showcase together off cosigns. I didn't have to spend no bread, but I just call people, hey, can I use your mixer? Yeah. Call that person, hey, you got a gig tonight? Can I use your 12s? Well, I get off my gig at 6. Okay, bring them down here at this. Okay, hey, I need some mics. Okay, cool. So I put the whole thing together, and all the bands that I booked, which also showed that I chose wisely, they all helped me put the showcase together. Nobody was sitting on the sidelines like waiting till their time slot. Cats was like really out there helping me put the table together, helping me plug in the turntables, helping me set up the mics. And then we did the show, and at the end of the show, I was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. And we all had, if you see South by Southwest, everybody has little walkie-talkies on them to communicate. So at the end of my showcase, I got on my walkie-talkie, and I said, South by don't give a fuck about hip-hop. They did my showcase dirty. They did me dirty. They don't care about the culture. They don't care about Austin hip-hop. Fuck them. I'm done. And when I said that on my walkie-talkie, you could hear it echoing on everybody else's walkie-talkie. So that was transmitted all over South by Southwest. So it was radio silence after I said that. Like,
Oh, that's an awkward moment.
Yeah,
but
nobody
it needed to be done.
Yeah, nobody said nothing, but I had to say it because my main thing was I'm from the east side of Austin. I got to put on for my city. I'm not gonna sell out my city and just roll with the status quo, and then other artists can't get put on. And that's what it was becoming. So I just said, you know what? I'm out this bitch because I was teed up before South by Southwest. South by Southwest didn't make me, right? So I was already doing my thing. So I just bounced. That was it. I was like, when they got my last check. And I said, I wish y'all well. And we had bad blood for a few years because South by Southwest is that's like, throwing a rock at, Goliath, right? Like everybody's scared of South by Southwest.
That's Blackball Central.
Yeah, everybody's scared of South by, so they're not gonna step up and do what they need to do to protect the benefit of everybody else to come after me. Like if I could have still been working there if I had just went with the flow.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Another year.
But my thing was I just didn't want to be the black token guy at South by so they can say they have a black guy doing hip hop and I don't really have no power to do nothing.
So they was giving you just like one stage basically every South by, just one little showcase.
They would give me one stage and the first couple of years it was dope. My first one was at Emo's on Red River. It was packed, lying down the street. It was
Emo's, yeah.
It was the whole hood. The whole hood was like, oh, T-Double's doing it. Packed. South by had never seen that many black people at a hip hop showcase before, ever. They drove by. They told the owner. He drove by and was like, "What is going on? Like, what's happening over here?" You know what I mean? I had like Nook. I had like all these guys there rocking, and they were like, "Who is this? What's going on?" But as the years went on, then my funding became less. I got less access to like emails and data files on how to really promote my shows. So that last show, when I had to like rig my shit, it was like I was basically like back at Givens.
No, I know. You feel like you back. Yeah.
It felt like I backtracked. So I was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done.
You.
And then, I ran across the South by Southwest execs one day sitting outside of the Hilton, and they were like, yo, we got love for you, man. They was like, we don't like what you said, right? But we appreciate that you had the balls to say it. He was like, that's how you felt, and you broadcast that shit. He was like, I would have kind of preferred if you had kind of pulled me aside and whispered in my ear or something.
It ain't going to work the same way as everybody hearing
Yeah, but I did my broadcast, and that's still like I'm the only person really that had an executive position as a director who walked away from South by and said, fuck it, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So that's still like a myth around South by, like, damn, did T-Double really say that? Yes, I did. I got on my walkie-talkie and was like, fuck this shit. Y'all ain't supporting the shit.
So you recently got on your walkie-talkie, but on social media.
No, we're going to...
Okay, that was a good segue. I'm sorry. I like the segue. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break from South by because this is something that's trending. Deborah Lee is coming out from BET.
Right.
Yeah.
It's talking about basically, Bob Johnson and their little thing that they had and how he... she wanted to leave the relationship, but he said that if you leave me, you have to leave BET.
Right.
Then everybody's saying now that Deborah Lee's the one who basically ruined BET because, they sold to MTV.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about that? Do you think she was the downfall of BET or was just Bob Johnson wanted that money?
I think Bob Johnson really didn't have a lot to do with BET for years before that. You know what I mean? And I think it was already on a downward spiral because you got to remember when BET started, there was like Teen Summit. There were educational things for young black kids. Yeah. There were shows that really benefited. When they started doing BET After Dark, right? We had Nelly sliding the credit cards and girls' butts and all that.
Bruh.
And that type of programming. Yeah,
if you know.
And when that programming started, when it started going downhill, because now the teenagers didn't have nothing to watch. Everybody used to watch Teen Summit, right? And be like, oh, damn, I'm going to watch that because I think Maya, the singer Maya, was one of the co-hosts on Teen Summit when it started, right? So it's like everybody watched that. And now there's nothing for the kids. Now it's, a certain age and up. So
even 106 in Park for the longest 106 in was Park, the same. It was because look at Bow. He was number one for like dang near a whole year.
106 in Park was dope. They had the freestyle battles. Rap City in the basement was dope. Like all those things was beneficial to the culture. And when those things stopped, and that was basically because of the new ownership and other things like that. They were like, we don't need all that. Let's get back to the booty shaking stuff. Let's get back to showing more of that and not really educating the youth. And that's kind of when it went down. Like nobody really watches BET at all because of the shows are crazy. Nobody really watches the BET Awards because that looks crazy.
But if you look at all those shows, like all those channels, they said the downfall really was because the a return of an ROI on doing reality shows because it was so
Right.
cheap to shoot.
Yep.
That they could, just do that, knock it out,
Yeah.
knock it out, and then they get that stuff out to where that overtook everything music related to where, the joke at that Kanye line,
Right.
back when MTV played videos.
Yeah, because I think
just goes to that.
Because I think with the reality shows and that type of model they started doing, I think that was when Viacom, I believe, became an investor in the BET, and they had other channels that were successful.
The biggest fail in history,
Yeah.
Viacom.
Yeah, they had other channels that were
Not Viacom,
successful
I'm
that
tripping,
were
name wrong.
successful in that model. So they was like, we could take that model over here, do it with black faces, and it'll be a success. But we wasn't really watching MTV Real World. We wasn't watching Big Brother. We wasn't watching all those type of things. But they tried to kind of force it on us, and that made us turn the channel. Like I could watch ABC if I want to see that. That's not what I want to see over here. So it was a lot that went into the downfall of that. And I heard Bob Johnson might be trying to buy it back. He might be trying to buy BET back. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know if he got the.
Yeah.
If he got the bread.
I wonder how much that is.
It's in the billions for sure.
Yeah, well,
But-
I mean, he sold it to
Is it
Viacom for like I think it was $3 billion.
Yeah, that made him a bill.
Is it a baby
That's the
B?
first black billionaire.
Baby B? No, it's not a
I
baby
think
B.
that's a
It's
middle
big
child
B.
B.
That's a middle child B. Yeah, when you think about it, you're like, yo, BET.
Yep.
Yo,
Yep.
that's crazy. What's next?
Let's get back to South by Southwest because
Yeah.
you woke up this morning, like I said.
Yeah, so you got on your radio again this morning, but
Yeah.
on social, and you did your chirp chirp. What did he say, D?
Let's read the quote.
Yeah, while he's
I was
pulling
like,
that up.
Woke up and chose violence.
Yeah, you said the music business consultant lane is crowded and hurting a lot of artists as it's the rap game where you write the rap so good about gangster S but never been a gangster and people believe in it. It's the truth and call you gangster. Most people talking and charging you about the music business have zero first-hand real-world experience. So true. In any successful campaign or strategy, but can't tell you Google templates or plagiarize PDFs. How can you? Let's go South by, but hey, I love y'all. So you basically just saying it's too many people out here trying to get money, telling these artists what to do when they've never done nothing.
Yeah, it's just like if you look on Facebook or you look on Insta or whatever, when you a lot of people are putting digital creator on they thing, right?
Isn't
It's
that
occupation.
vague as a mug?
And it's like, what is that?
What are you digitally creating?
Yeah, like what is that? Like just because you post a video of you eating some food, now you're a digital creator. Like
that's content, I guess, nowadays.
It does, it's crazy. But I was like, the consulting lane, like a lot of people now, like I can consult you on the music business. I can tell you how to Well, all you got to do, anybody who's saying that, just look what they've done. Like, okay, where's your success? Where have you won?
So you need a credential check?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Everything, like I was saying earlier, everything has a digital footprint, right? So it's like if somebody get up there and say, like if I get up there and say, yeah, I've done music for Breaking Bad, and boom, 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 there's a digital footprint. You can find that. You know what I mean? If I say I've toured, if I whatever, there's a place you can find that. There's a, if I say I'm helping artists, there's a place you can find that. A lot of people just say it, and then some artists will be like, damn, okay, cool, I need that. And then they'll pay, $100, $500, a $3,000 package, whatever, to get it. But then in 3 months, 6 months, a year, they in the same place they was when they first met so-and-so. There's no progression. There's no growth. And I just like being real about it, you know what I mean? Because artists need to know that people are out there finessing, right? When there's a whole bunch of pay-to-play shows that pop up every South by Southwest. People out here finessing.
And see, that's what I was saying. They finessing, and at the same time, even when that happens, when an artist, any artist, I'm not calling one particular one, there's so many of them.
Right.
When an artist opens up for a big artist, we were talking about this before, just to
Right.
keep it real,
Right.
they don't take advantage of that opportunity. They don't try to, wow the crowd and captivate them and stand out and try to really steal the show.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, tell the artist, yo, top that.
Exactly. Like if any artist come to your city, no matter who you are, what stage you are an Austin representative. Period. So that means you need to get on stage, bust your ass, and do the best you can do so that next artist, the headliner, whoever, can come in there and be like, damn, that boy or that girl got down. Like, I wasn't ready for that. I didn't expect that, because a lot of people come to Austin thinking Austin just going to be whack off top. Like, because we Austin, we not Houston, Dallas, we not a big, huge metroplex. So we got to work harder. So when they get here, you need to get on that stage. You need to rock it out. You need to have better promo. Because if you look at it, a lot of major acts come to Austin. They don't put up posters. They don't put up no type of promotion because they're getting paid up front. So they can get on stage and half-ass it. So if you know they're going to half-ass it, then you come out and go hard. You got to come out and look like you the headliner. And so when people leave, they'll be like, yo, so-and-so should have opened up for him.
Killed it.
And see, you brought up a good point I want to bring up. Nadi's been talking about this for a while, and then I talked to him, this morning.
Right.
He, and then, we just keeping it real because, think about the prices in just studios alone, right, for South by.
Yep.
The Austin artists are getting charged the same prices as the out-of-towners.
Right.
Do you think that's messed up? And at the same time, like, the Austin artists seems like they take like a hit in the sense of, they got to pay the same prices. I don't think that's right. They in Austin, it should be like, show the Austin love, but get that money from them out-of-towners because, like they say, they think Austin's sweet.
Yeah, I think when it comes to studios and those type of things.
I'm sorry to say that, but it's,
no, that's real. I think when it comes to studios and those type of opportunities, it's really based on what you're going to do with this music. You know what I mean? Because running the studio is still a business, right? So you want to make sure that the person who comes in there is like, what are you trying to do with this music? What have you done so far? Where are you going to take this art? And like when people come to my studio, that's what I ask them. What are you planning to do with this song? Sure. Where are you planning to promote it? Where are you planning? And that way I can really gauge how I'm going to charge them. Okay, you about to put all this money towards promotion? I'm not going to hit you hard in the studio because I want you to fully promote this record. But if you come in and say, I don't know, you're going to get the regular price everybody else get.
But what if, like, there's an artist that actually comes in there that that's doing their thing, but you still tax them? Because there's these, studios that be like, yeah, for this price, it's going to be, let's just say it's normally, 60. Oh, yeah, it's 120 now for this.
Right.
But, they always coming through. They're always investing in themselves.
Yeah.
They're still charging them.
Yeah.
There's still those ones out there.
I agree with you. Like, if you're an Austin night, you should be able to sit down with whoever's the producer or whoever runs the studio and be like, this is what I'm trying to do. Don't be like, when I blow, you blow.
No, none of that.
Don't do that, but be like, this is what I'm trying to do, and can you help me do it? Like, never come in there and say, I want for free. Come in there with some kind of budget and say, I can pay up to this, but I'm going to work really hard to promote it so it can become this. And then you can evolve, and then you can talk about more money or less money or whatever. But you got to come in there like it's a business transaction. All the dap, homeboy, I got you, you got me. Mm-hmm. That never ends well.
No,
it never ends well. So if you come in there and say, look, I got, I saved up $200. What can I get in for $200? Because when I record this song, I'm going to put it on all these formats. I got a situation where I can get it put on this compilation. I got a situation where I can get this song here. Mm-hmm. I got a couple of dates set up. I got a bunch of radio interviews. Like, you got to come in with some work done for the person to be like, to see value in you. Because if they don't see personal value in you, then you're just a client and you get charged as one.
Another question.
Yeah.
All right, to you, and we ain't talked about this before.
Right.
Not really definition, but for a rollout for artists, what is that to you? So if somebody says an artist rollout,
right?
What's the like a good way? There's no perfect way. There's no set in stone. But like, what's a good example?
I'll just speak from personal experience because I like to do that a lot. What I do with my albums is I'll spend, the first thing I'll do is, like, if I have a title of an album, I'll start hashtagging it first in my post. Right. Like, when I dropped the Hometown Kid album, I started hashtagging the Hometown Kid. So everybody started calling me that. So it became familiar, the Hometown Kid. And then I started, rolling out logo ideas and be like, hey, I was trying this on Photoshop. What y'all think? Because the main thing to really make a successful album is you got to make the listener, the consumer, or whoever feel invested within that project, right? You just can't put it out and say, buy it because I'm from Austin. Because everybody doing that. But if I say, hey, dog, like, I put this on Pop Austin Media. Y'all go look at the video. Tell me which one of those covers y'all like. And really become part of the process. So that brings you viewers, and it also helps me get a good idea of which one should I put out that people will gravitate towards. So it's a lot of steps involved in it. Some people just be like, yo, when I drop this album, it's going to be a movie. Yep.
True, and it be
Check
real.
It out.
You're not dropping the music first.
No.
Exactly. You're not dropping the music, the video. It's a whole thing. Matter of fact, you have all that in the tuck.
Yep.
Already predetermined and ready to go in a slate.
It's
scheduled to go.
Ready to go. And now, since I do a lot of sync stuff, usually before one of my album drops, it's been in the sync circuit for like 3 months. Mm-hmm. It's already been doing what it's doing on that. So I'm already generating something on that end. I'm already sending it to college radio, my plugs, right?
And you're getting engaged on
Yeah, so I'm sending it to college radio. I'm sending it all the places. So I'm already getting publishing off of it before it even drops. So I'm already creating money before it even comes out. And then I start doing all the hashtagging, all the other stuff, you know, and I'll get on, you know, and with me, like I'll get on Facebook and say something about the business and say something about something else. That'll make people more into it, like, damn, what's he talking about? And I'm like, if you listen to the album, I got a couple of tracks where I'm talking more about that. So like you go listen to the album, you can hear some of the jewels. So it's different from each artist, right? But you really got to make the consumer really trust you artistically in an authentic way, where it doesn't seem like I'm just I'm tagging 99 people on Facebook. Check out my record.
That's the old school way. I remember
they still do it.
The way in the day. And just say that today, it wasn't too long ago, but you used to do a mass message, just kill them with mass messages. Next, you send it out at, what was it, 50 per? Like you really had to put it in, so you like 50. Boom, see it. You already had the copy paste. You going from E now to whatever the next 50 is.
But see, what that would do is you would have a couple of people in there that are down with you. You would have a couple of new people that might check you out, but then the rest of them is gonna be like, damn, who is this? Why am I getting this? Who is this? And then they gonna block you. So now you're losing people. Like when somebody sends me something and I'm on a long ass.
Oh, the new thing is the Instagram mass chain.
Yeah. If I'm on one of those and I don't know the person and they just add me to it, I'll probably block that person.
Y'all go run me up.
Yeah,
that's the new thing.
Y'all go run these numbers up. It's gonna be a movie, and I'm like, dude. Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, I love y'all out here, man, but stop it.
Yeah, they be like, it's gonna be a movie. Rotten Tomatoes said no. I don't trust you.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 10.
Yeah, I don't trust you. You know, and I want everybody to succeed, and that's why I talk that talk when I'm online, because
it's tough love.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'm an elder. I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to say, y'all are doing the same things I did at 14, because I was making money off the rap thing in a big scale at 15, 16, whatever, with Chili. So it's like, y'all doing stuff I was doing back then and still not getting it together. Like, artists will go on stage, won't even say their name first. They just come on stage with a group of motherfuckers and start rapping. Who are you?
You like
say your name.
If it's a movie,
it's basics.
If it's a movie, right? If you're on stage, you got to tell them, like, give them something, like go on there, give like, oh, he did a. Like, there's a dude, I'm not just saying but Moscato J, he does a backflip. That's his thing. Everybody waits for the backflip.
Right.
But you got to throw different things in there, more.
Well, something that else helped blow Michael Jackson up was his performance at Motown 25.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the moonwalk.
It was that show he did that captivated everybody.
But see, even with that, was his talent itself was so exceptional. People knew the talent was coming, but he just had to throw that little bit of flair in there. To catch your attention. Just like, you know, when I was doing A&R for Arista Records, it's like you hear a song within the first 30 seconds, it got to catch you. It has to be something to make us go, damn, okay, because your first 30 seconds aren't banging, then I got a good idea the rest of the song is going to be garbage. And so I just move on. So you got to do that in everything you do. You got to come out hard. It's like we were saying about South by. Every local artist should have their posters, their little billboards, whatever they're doing with their name on it, a QR code, a way to contact you downtown right now. They should have that. Even if you gigging or not gigging, you got to showcase or not, you need to be down there going hard.
And they're not going to, you know, I mean, it's a cruel world out
here.
All
man. They want to do is go in the studio and then drop it and expect the people to run them up. They're not willing to be in them streets when it's hot and sweaty and your knees hurting.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, like, you know, I've had a great career and I was still down there putting up stickers and posters and promoting my stuff, right? So people can go by and check it out, because you never know. Because now with South by, when I started, it was just music, right? It was like just music by itself. Now it's music, film, tech. So you got many other resource avenues for you to tap in. Like if you know these 3 days of tech, go down there and go hard for tech. Find you a partnership who can help you with streaming. It's
research.
It takes research, and it takes for you to like get your ass at the house. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, even if you don't have a badge, a lot of people like excuses. Like, I don't have no money, I can't make no music.
Oh, you can talk your way into some situations.
Oh, it takes money to make money. You know what I mean? Or I don't have a badge, so how am I going to just be down there and just be seen? Like, you know, last night I was on 6th Street, and there was a group down there who was doing kind of like what me and Smackola did. They had a whole drum kit, they had a singer, they had saxophone, flutist, and they had their QR code on the ground. It was a crowd like damn, that's kind of dope. People scanning the QR code, boo, 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 tipping, following. Like, you got to be seen. You got to be seen to make the scene.
You can make a
They be
way.
at the crib, like they say. Everybody like to say, look, the baby was wearing a diaper. You know?
Yeah.
Bro, came out with a diaper.
I remember I was at South by that year. He was walking around in the diaper, and everybody was like, "What's
in
that?"
the
They were like,
world?
"What is that about?" And everybody was like, "Oh, he calls himself the baby," and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense. He's wearing the diaper." Like,
and then eventually, next thing you know, the baby
like
trended.
6 months later.
I remember I saw him trending that day. I was like, what the? Because
Yeah.
I already knew about the baby because he knocked that dude out on stage while
Yeah.
performing and
Oh,
kept
shit.
performing.
Damn.
That was funny.
Damn.
He went, boom, yeah, and then killed. I was like, this cat baby's different.
Yeah.
And then he came out with that. I was like,
Yeah, and then 6
okay.
months. Then 6 months later, he was there. But see, the thing, even with the baby, like, if you run up on him and say, "Dude, that's whack, you in a diaper," he can rap though. So he got bars. So that's the thing. Like,
He's confident enough to wear a dang baby. I'm a diaper. I'm not rocking.
So that's the thing. Like, you can have gimmicks and you can have all these things, but it's the talent there. The talent has to be the core essence of what you're doing. Because once people, even if you put up flyers, stickers, whatever, once people get to your site, hopefully you have a site. Everybody out there who's an artist, please get a website. Don't let Facebook be your site. Don't let Insta be your site. Don't let LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. Get you a personalized me.com, whatever site, right? So that way when people go to your website, oh, he's dope. There's talent there. Okay, let me get a download. Have, you know, when you're attracting new fans, like if you put up your posters and whatever and people got the Q code, send them to an extra page on your website where they can get a free download of a song, right? Because you can add pages to your website. You make a page just for, here's my South by Southwest page. They click the Q code, they go to that page, they can download one free song. They either they'll like it or they won't. But then, you know, you can put little caveats. You can put little caveats in there, like, in order to download the song, I need your email. In order to do this, I need to know your location, what city, what state, whatever you're from, right? Where it doesn't seem so intrusive on the user, where they're like, I'm giving too much information, but they give you enough information to track. So if enough people come from South by from Japan and they're in a group and they scan it, now you see there's potential for a Japan market to be tapped into. Now you see there's a potential for Italy, Africa. You got to be smart about it. You just can't be like, hey, check me out. I'm the dopest in Austin because, you know, I sold out Victory Grill.
I'm the nicest, man. I'm the hardest in the city.
Yeah, like you got to be on it, especially during South by when we have all these artists, all these labels. You got $1 million corporations coming in here. So you got to be out there working extra hard. You got to be networking. You got to go to these panels. Like if you got a badge, if you have a badge for South by and you're an artist, skip a lot of the music stuff unless it's the legal stuff. Skip all that and go to the tech portion. Go to the film portion. Talk to the music supervisor, the sync people.
You're right.
Go tap into those because the music stuff you can eventually get to. You can eventually meet somebody.
There's stuff going on every
day,
all the time.
Yeah.
So at least once a month there's a big event. Seems like that's going on, some type of thing. So honestly, that's some real stuff that nobody's really pointed out.
You just gotta get out the house.
Like you can do one show at the last weekend. You be like, yo, give me Saturday, bro.
Yep.
And then everything else you like, yo, forget this. I'm mingling with these big wigs.
Because think about it, if you out there doing South by and you on the block, right, doing South by and all that, everybody that's here wants to see something new. Mm-hmm. So if you out there passing out flyers, whatever, your business cards or whatever, there's a good chance they'll be sitting around and be like, what we going to do tonight? They at the Driscoll. Man, I got this flyer from this kid. He said he's doing a show at Victory Grill. Where's that? Oh, that's a historic black venue. Let's go check it out. Now your personal showcase is packed with all these new potential customers.
Now you got to put the show on.
Now you got to put the show on and rock it, but you got all the people there who will download your stuff now. When you're done with the show, South by South, a lot of people come to South by Southwest are really nice. So if they see you rocking it, after that, they'll come up to you at the end and be like, hey, I'm with so-and-so. That was dope. Here's my card. Call me whenever.
We did that last South by. We were out a lot more. We're doing in studio. We're out and about, but we were really approaching people. And we were out now. We'll approach people and say that like, yo, we like what you do. Because they need that. They need that too, encouragement, not just because because a lot of sometimes them crowds be acting like they too cool for school. Yeah. Like, no, turn up.
And people need to respect the local outlets as well, like y'all, KZI, a lot of other people who are doing these type of projects and be like, this is where you need to be locally to make a presence. Because
honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. Them cats ain't tapped in. They are not tapped in with the city. They're not tapped in with people that are rocking. They're not tapped in with the hottest artists. They're not. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? They don't know who's hot and who's not, honestly.
Cosby be kind of tapped in a little bit. I'm gonna give
the
him
most.
respect.
The most, yeah. But the rest of there's no love shown.
But I remember one time we were performing, because, we used to be artists. And we did this warehouse show, and we was like, because our song just got played on Cosby. Like, we on the radio, y'all. They was like, what radio? It was like 88.7. They was like,
it was a collective.
I was like,
but see, people need to understand is like you get played on KZI a lot, you get publishing from KZI a lot. You know what I mean? So you can't really look at it like, that's just a community station.
It was the stigma just because of the simple fact
because it's local, because it's a local thing. So people are like, oh man, I don't want to mess with that. I want to go mess with, iHeartRadio. Well, how you gonna get to iHeart if you don't create a foundation on the bottom tier?
But I think Kazi just didn't. They're just not up. They gotta stay up with the times. It just seem like they're always some years behind. Like y'all gotta stick up. Y'all gotta be in studio like doing some stuff.
I mean,
like
it's the music that they're playing. They're not
True that.
to the young, demographic. So you're not gonna always be a part of the conversation if you're not talking about what's trending. If you're talking about hey, if you got arthritis, buy these pills,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And into that.
So that's why everybody's like, my grandma listened to that.
And see, but to that point,
Earth, Wind, and Fire on Saturday night.
But see, to that point, you got to look at like all these people who want to get in the music industry. Some of them should be in radio. Like, there's your opportunity.
You remember
personalities?
Chris Ludacris. That's how Ludacris got in. He was, a personality. He was rapping before, but that was his thing. Joe Budden was even doing
That's
it.
how you do it, man. It's like
rapping.
It's like, how come I don't hear my style on the radio or the stuff I listen to on the radio? Let me go to them and say, hey, give me a time slot. Give me 3 to 5 in the morning. Pick a horrible time slot. Show them numbers of people. That's what they want to listen to. You instantly move up to midnight. You instantly move up to 8. You instantly move up to prime time. And now you that one dictating the taste of what people want to hear. So it's like you gotta everybody is not built to be an artist. There's so many opportunities and job opportunities within the music industry. Not everybody got to be on stage rapping and singing.
That's
what I mean? There's so much in the back that helps that process go along. Like if you read in the Chronicle, you read in the publication, man, they're not covering hip hop enough. Why don't you become a writer? Why don't you go and be that? Be that.
That's
be what you missing.
On some like he said, that's what we did. We were artists. We saw there was a void for media in the city and what needed to be current and that's up to date. And look what we did. We put you forget being this. This is more value in this. Value is more in those type of things because there's millions of artists out there.
And like the Chronicle, I think they did a list or they did something about Austin hip hop. I don't know if it was a list or whatever it was, but we hit the girl who kind of put that together.
Yeah, they did like a top 20 Austin rappers.
And we hit her. I ain't gonna say her name, but it was like, yo, come on the party, let's talk about it.
Right.
And she said, she could. I guess I don't know if she's scared or whatever it is, but she wanted, our names to kind of nominate us for some Austin hip hop award and all that stuff. We're like, nah, man, come on and talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and see
let the people know. Like, don't be scared.
And that's the thing, right? It's like you gotta go out there and be like, I'm the one who said it, and this is why I said it, and this is why I feel that way about these particular artists. You know what I mean? Because that gives more validity to the Chronicle and to its writers when the writers can step up and be like, I said that. And that goes back to, like I tell people, that goes back to me and Bavu and Bobby Dixon. When the Chronicle wasn't covering hip hop, we created Show and Prove. We created our own newsletter, which was like Austin's first Source magazine, because the Chronicle wasn't covering it. So in our newsletter, you had every show that was hip hop related every day of the week. We had people who write for the Chronicle and write for the Statesman who started out writing for us. They used our newsletter on their resume. Like I wrote my first piece for Show and Prove. So a lot of people out there is like acting funny when they doing their thing now. They started through us. You know what I'm saying? And we just put it out and let people know these where the shows are. These are the dope artists. This is the trending.
And you think that, my bad, you think what would fix that would be to get somebody like fresh out of high school that's going to college, that's kind of doing that type of journalism degree to go, hey, you're on Instagram all the time. You're 19, 20 years old.
Yep.
do your research. You know what I'm saying? A young
'cause
hip
the people
kid.
who work at the Chronicle who's doing the hip hop, like, they ain't even our color. You know what I'm saying?
And see, the
So,
thing
Yeah,
with
get
that,
it. I hate to say young black kid because
Yeah,
that sounds
and-
bad, but get a
and-
young black kid, get a
yeah,
young
get-
Mexican
get-
kid.
minority.
it's
Yeah.
get somebody who understands the culture and understands and really loves it, right? The only thing is that money is so entwined into it. So if you find a guy who's like fresh out of high school or fresh out of college, they're gonna be like, well, how much am I gonna get paid to
No,
write
you're
that?
right. That's
Nobody
true.
wants to intern and put in that work no more.
No.
They don't want to. That's why I say it's like if you go to the Chronicle, then yeah, you
Preach.
should get paid. If you go to somewhere like that, yeah, you should get paid, or you should get paid per story, or you should get paid per word, or you should get paid how all those things.
Well, yeah,
work.
you get paid, but it's a
But,
small scale
yeah,
pay. You ain't
so,
getting no
so,
big
So
pay.
when it comes to that, why don't you just go to your neighborhood outlets that you shop at or whatever and get them to sponsor your own newsletter? And get them to sponsor, well, now it'd be website. Get them to sponsor your website and have their links on there. And you could basically do show and prove in a digital form. Because you got to remember, me and Bavu did it. We were spending our own money. And we was printing that up, and then we would get like kids on each side of town and give them like 100 copies. Here, you take 100 to the KRS-One show. Hey, you take 100 to this Latin hip hop show. Hey, you take some over here to this reggae show. And that way everybody knew what was going on in the scene through us. That it even got to the point where the Chronicle wanted to put our newsletter as an insert in the Chronicle. And we was like, no, it's separate. Because us, that's what's selling out. Y'all didn't want to cover the hip hop, but now you want us to cover the hip hop, and you get the credit of saying you cover the hip hop by putting our hip hop in your thing.
That's all they're gonna do.
So we turned it down. We was like, wow, that's awesome. That means we doing something. That means our idea from walking down the street has gained value because they see it. But we wasn't going to add it inside of their thing because they didn't want to cover it. But as you notice, after that, you started seeing more hip hop cats on the cover. You started seeing more features. You started seeing more because they didn't want that competition to happen again on the underground the way we did it. Like we shook them. They was shook when we came out. Now nobody's really doing it, so they can write a story every couple of years and say hip hop's about to blow with somebody. Or they can write a feature and say this. Or they can make their own top 20
Well, and
rappers list based on.
And then they pandered
Whatever.
too because they waited. I hate to say it, but they waited till D pointed it out, and I was like, I agree. LGBT. It was like a LGBTQ month or whatever.
Right.
And they put Mama Duke on
Right.
there just for the just kind of threw, and then they threw Quinn on there like during another time to just kind of seem
Right.
like they're pandering in a sense of
Yep.
cheating. But
Because I told them when they were writing about me, when they put me on the cover, I told them, I said, what y'all need to do is when y'all put somebody on the cover or y'all write a dope ass story about somebody, do a follow up. Do a follow up story and say, what are they doing now?
that's what we do. We do the interview.
Yeah.
If they went and did something big, then we'll.
That's what you do. It's like you just don't, because they do it with white artists. They'll put somebody on the cover and write
Yeah.
about them, and they'll follow up and say, since then,
Yep.
so and so has boom, boom, boom. But when they put hip hop on the cover, you'd be like, man, what happened to Basswood Lane?
Yep.
Man, what happened to, Eric Dingus? Man, what happened to all these artists? They still working and they still doing things, but they're not covering them no more. So when you stop continuously covering and following up with these artists that you thought were great enough to be on the cover, did you even care about them to begin with while you put them on the cover?
It's like that time they did the cover with Queen, Kenny G, and I
Yes.
think Tita.
Yes.
And they ain't talked about it since. Kenny
Yes.
G's moved to LA. They
Doing-
ain't
yeah.
updated or nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so that hurts the scene because there's no continuously follow up saying Quinn got on the cover when he had this many numbers and stream. Now he's 10 million or whatever streams now. Let's follow up and say, damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
What have you done since then? How did you get there? You know what I mean? Like when I did my cover, I specifically told them I want to talk about everything I do musically. I just don't want to be on there saying I'm a dope rapper.
Yeah.
Like I'm a businessman. I've done this. I've done film. Let's talk about all that. So when other people read that article, they can be like, damn, okay. You can do that out of Austin? Tight.
Exactly.
Tight. 'Cause
Nah,
you can put rappers and singers and whoever on the cover all day. We know we have that. But what are they doing? Like Quinn's story of how he got all them streams, I would love to like sit down and flip through an article on that and be like, damn, how did you do that? Like how did
He'll be back, and we gonna get
Educate
to it.
everybody.
But we about to educate everybody,
Yeah.
Before they can. He'll be back sometime.
Yeah,
So,
but that's what I mean. But that's what the culture needs, and if other publications aren't dedicated to it, then we have to create it.
Yep.
We got to put on those shows. We got to write the publications. We got to create the PR agencies. We got to do all these things to really make sure that our brand is aware. We could create a PR agency, and we can go after Sprite and say we can get your product into the black market, the Latino demographic. We can do that instead of that agency off Congress. It's
Facts.
doable, but we just have to do it. And I'm from that era of doers, right? Because hip hop and punk rock are the same as far as coming from the bottom, struggling, making something from nothing. But we kind of lost that energy because the internet made it easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of stuff is easy now. You don't have to mail your demo. You don't have to really talk to a person. You could Zoom meet. A lot of the interaction is gone. So the hard hustle, even though people say they hustling, they're not really hustling because you sitting at home just, clicking a couple of buttons and and then feeling like you about to blow.
Don't even got to put on pants nowadays.
Yeah.
Put on a shirt and do your meeting.
You gotta really go out there and shake hands and kiss babies and be like, okay, let's meet at a coffee shop. Let's meet here. Let's meet somewhere and just talk for 30 minutes so I can tell you my story.
And even when that, you were still on like message boards that were more interactive in the day, and then going outside after, like, oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because think about how many artists there are. Like whenever they do the top 20 list or something like that, I'm like, who are these people? And I'm pretty still plugged in, right? Like I know artists that are going on. I'm like, who are these? 'Cause I don't see them I don't see them online. I don't see them making any type of post on Instagram, anything. I don't see them creating any type of continuous buzz besides in their neighborhood, which is dope that your neighborhood supports you, but the neighborhood ain't posting it as well. So you need a collective of people to say, this guy from our neighborhood, like we used to do in Colony Park, this guy from our neighborhood is like CP Looney, or from Colony Park. Like all these cats say, these cats are doing it. Let's support them in our hood. Then that person starts getting awareness and starts blowing.
That's how Meek Mill get on.
Yeah, that's
Rick
how
Ross sent it was a tweet. He said, "Who's the hottest in Philadelphia? I'm stopping by for the tour." And then he got spammed Meek Mill, Meek Mill, Meek Mill. So he's like, "Hey." And he hit Meek Mill, that day. He was like, "Hey, come open up for me." And Meek came through, showed out, and he was like, "Yo, I'm signing this
Meek
man."
Meek pulled up to the radio station first and rapped for him outside or something.
Yeah,
that was so he had to let that talent speak for itself.
But it started out with him saying, who's the hottest in Philly?
Yeah. And that's how we did. You know what I mean? When I stayed over there in Colony Park, we had a group called 2-4 Soldiers, and it was like probably one of Austin's first real like gangster acts. You know what I mean? It was these two cats, was Buzzy and Woods. So the neighborhood, we got together and say, let's put our money together, right? Let's collectively put out their cassettes. Let's put them in stores. Let's start selling it. And what we would do is we would block off Colony Park and throw, just on a random Saturday, block off the block and just throw a big-ass party and play their shit all night. The police would come and turn around. Like, because the hood was so supportive of what we was doing, the older folks was like, let them kids do their thing. But then 2-4 Soldiers start selling cassettes. They start selling records. You know what I mean? Because the whole neighborhood was rallying behind what we was doing, and we really stuck together to promote that artist in our neighborhood. So every neighborhood needs to do that. If you have somebody in your neighborhood that's dope and you think is incredible, post them. Yep. That costs you nothing. Put egos aside. Yep. If somebody raps better than you, let them be the one from your hood to shine, because they're going to bring all that attention back to you. So by the time it comes back, you can be sharper with your skills, hopefully. So, we need to work on that ego component too, that I'm the best in Austin. I'm the king. I'm gonna put Austin on the map. I'm like, Austin been on the map. If you look at any map from now till back in the 1400s, it said Austin on there. Like that's like the craziest statement to me. Like, it's on the map. And we, cats been getting record deals out of here for years. You know what I'm saying? So when people act like they gonna be the first one to do something, that's cute. Like, that's good to think that, but it's been done a million times over. Yeah. When you do it, are you gonna be able to make a label deal? Are you going to be able to own your publishing and your masters? Because that's what we was doing. Are you going to be able to be on big-ass tours with ESPN and sponsorships and all that? Because that's what we was doing. So are you going to be doing that? That's impressive. If not, it's cute to say.
Humble yourself.
It's cute to say. You know what I mean? But work, like I always say in all my posts, man, work is measurable. Talk is easy. Yep. Anybody can say anything. But the work, you can look at somebody's body of work, and be like, damn, this dude is really out here killing it. Yep. Like, That's like we have artists like Quinn and other artists who got a lot of streams and whatever, they should be out commanding big dollars when they perform, because they have those streams to back it up. But they also need the marketing behind it to establish them as an artist worthy of those funds as well, and branding, right? And that's like the record label model that a lot of people don't know about, haven't been in tune to or informed about. Yeah. So the record label industry part, as far as that, still matters. And I was glad I was part of like Arista Records and really saw that in motion, how to get ads on Billboard, how to get funding, how to really break an artist from nothing to top 10 Billboard. Like, I've seen that process.
That matters.
As much as they don't want to admit it, should the labels still matter?
Yeah, they do.
Still matter.
Oh,
still
they
running
definitely
the
matter.
game.
If you don't, if you know what I mean, they still matter. But the thing is, when you get in there with them, do you know what to ask for?
Yeah.
Do you know what to negotiate? Do you know what to say? You know, okay, because if a label approaches you, you got something to value.
Yeah.
The way they do it, because I've been in A&R meetings too. We'll get an artist and say, you know what, man, you're amazing. You got streams, like you killing it, but we can really make that jump for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you doing okay, you're doing all right.
You need that big back.
But see, we can give you this advance, and this advance will help you live while you work on your next album. It'll help you pay off your moms or whatever. Like it's real emotional. Here's the money. Never tell you that money is a loan and needs to be recouped.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't sell it, if you don't sell any records, we'll drop you and now you owe us. But if you're still hot, because you can be hot and not make any money.
Yeah.
So if you're still hot, we'll let you put out another album, but now your first debt rolls over to your second debt. So instead of you owing us $200,000, now you're gonna owe us $400,000 because now you have that other debt. And then if you want to get out the label deal, that's cool. When somebody wants to buy you out, we get first refusal. That's in most contracts too. So if I'm signed to somebody and Def Jam say, yo, T, and I ain't been messing with my old label for a while, like I don't deal with them, but I'm still contractually bound for like 2 more records. Def Jam be like, yo, T, I want to rock with you. I be like, bet, y'all give me $10 million, I'm in. The old label gets first refusal, and that's usually in most contracts. So then the old label can say, how much were y'all offering him in advance? 10,000. We want $10 million. We want $5 million of that. So now they get $5 million, not even have to deal with you anymore. Now you still owe the 10 that you have to recoup, right? Because that was your advance. So they gave the 5 away. You still owe the 10. So that means now you got to try to make enough records, tour, 360 deal to pay back that 10.
Once you break even, then you start to see some type of something.
There's never a break even unless you do it all yourself. There's no artist that has ever recorded and broke
I'm just saying
even.
not to owe money like that.
Yeah,
you got to break even just
but
to
then,
be
but
like.
Then you got to come in and you got to come in and do like I did when I was approached by Good Vibes. I want to own the record. I want to own the publishing. I want to own the masters. I want to label.
You got to be lucky for them to say yes.
I want a label deal. You know, you got to know what you want, and they can either say no, yes, or no. You know what I mean? You got to roll with the no's. If they say no, tight. But they'll probably say yes because they'll be like, that could work out these days.
And they're gonna cut it down. Where can we find you at on social, my guy?
Man, y'all, you can find me at Tyranny Johnson, TERRANY Johnson. You know, I have my real name on there, so that way, you know, everybody can find me for business, for music,
management services,
for everything, for consulting.
I know you don't want no management. I'm messing with you.
I don't do no management, baby.
I'm messing with you.
No, man, because management is not what you want to do. You know what I mean?
No, I already know.
You don't want to do it. But yeah, you know, cats need to learn the game. Cats need to sit down with folks like myself and others who have really experienced it from not just an independent level, but from a major record deal label level, and who have experienced the ups and downs, the ownerships, the losses, and can tell you how to better yourself to build your brand. You know what I mean? Because like I wrote on another post, I said, people always ask me, why do I get asked to be on these panels when there was other cats who was around rapping just as long as I was who were still here? And I said, because work is measurable. Mm-hmm. Your time in the culture doesn't mean nothing compared to what you did within that time in the culture. You can rhyme for 30 years, but what else were you doing during that 30 years? Like, were you helping the community? Were you establishing other companies? Were you able to sell records? Were you know what I mean? Like, what did you do in that? And that's what really matters. That's why I always say work is measurable. So when people tell you, dog, I can do blah, 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 I can do this, work is measurable. Show me.
Show me. You ain't lying.
Show me.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through with some real talk. Man. I know we're going to hurt some people's feelings, but in a good way.
Yeah, we should make a segment and call it Tea Time.
I know.
Yeah, we definitely. I like that.
Real.
We definitely can do that. Shoot some stuff and, you know, drop some Tea Time content.
Yeah, you know, because my thing is real quick is, like I always say, man, I want people to win, man. Like, I'm not one of them Austin artists where, like, I want to be the only winner holding the trophy in the room. I want to look around and everybody I know and don't know got a trophy. Everybody winning. Everybody got stats. Everybody got plaques on the wall. Everybody, because it's doable, right? But once we get over the ego part of I want to be the, you know, you talk to a lot of artists, they say I am, I this, you know, what I mean? You got to be like we.
MLB.
Yeah, you got to be like we, us, team, the town, the city, because we, you know what I mean? We're all Team Austin. Mm-hmm. There's no coach. There's no this. We all the same position. We can all learn from each other. We can all teach each other. We can all grow from each other. We can all accept each other's experiences and how to make each other better in the process, so that when labels and opportunities do come, like South by Southwest, the whole town, like right now, say, just for Quinn, for sake, if Quinn is the biggest artist in Austin and he has streams and whatever, every other artist in Austin should stop what they're doing and promote that boy. Yeah. And just go around and put up his flyers, put up his posters, you can make a big flyer with him, then at the bottom have Q codes for every other artist.
Yeah.
So everybody's still being promoted at the same time, but he's the go-to, and then everybody just promote that. You know what I mean? It's like, when the ego comes into it and the challenging and I'm better than my neighbor, then it gets whacked, man. Like, we need to support everybody around here who's doing it, because it's now or never. Other cities are moving. They moving on.
Yeah.
They coming out with their next breed of artists who are already selling platinum
Memphis
records.
is going crazy
already.
now.
You know what I mean? So they already, Houston is nonstop. Everybody's already killing it. It's like Austin is moving it, but we haven't really got the collective mindset to say, you know what, if we all just stop and help this one particular artist or these group of artists blow, then the scene would be something. Because then you make more of a global impact, and people will be like, damn, that cat is really killing it down there in Austin. Let me fly down there and see what's going on during South by. Let me bring them to the BMI showcase and have them get on stage and bring a couple of folks through to check them out. And there's your opportunity, because then all you got to do is get on stage and rock it like you always rock it. Then you have a sit down, and then you make your terms. You listen to their terms, see what you want to do. Hopefully you got a good management that can see the long-term vision and not just a quick my commission, right? Because some manager be like, okay, my finder's fee is this, my commission is this, I'll sign that deal. They need to be like, yo, this artist is amazing, so I want in 10 years for this artist to retire from music if they want to, and have maybe 3 other companies in real estate. How can we take this advance and expand it to a point where now you own your house, you own your mama's house, you have real estate, you have other investments, like Slick Rick. When Slick Rick came out, he dropped The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. Great, amazing album. He took his advance and his money, and he bought apartment buildings. So when he got deported, the USA deported him back to London, right? So when they deported him, his apartment buildings were still selling money. I mean, they're still making money. So when he got to come back after being deported, he already had money sitting. Wow. Because he made the adequate investments when he had the chance. So you got to have people around you who are thinking bigger, who are thinking, Austin is a great place to generate tons of money. That's why LA and tech folks are coming here, because they can generate all that money. So it's like, we got to think the same way as techs. We got to think as entrepreneurs. We got to think as executives and CEOs, but in the purest form, not just in saying I'm the CEO of my label.
Facts, bro.
But in actually getting it going on. So,
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through, though, bro. Spitting some game.
Yeah.
This is Jet with Pop Austin Media, South by Southwest 2023, T-Double, T-Time.
We're going to have Chili Red Beats and T-Double coming up soon, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Chili Red's supposed to be here tonight, but
couldn't make it.
Yup.
But when that y'all tune into that one.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
Because that one's going to be, that's one's going to be what y'all really want to be watching.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, this is Jet, T-Double, South by Southwest 2023, Pop Austin Media. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'm signing out.
Peace, y'all.
Y'all, we just hit that 12K subscribers, on our way to 13. So make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.